We all live.
I suppose we are. So as we get ourselves together for our first ever ladies' night, the ladies are vital. You get your stuff, get your popcorn, get your pizza, get your drinks, get your whatever you need so that you can be comfortable. Because as you see, we are very comfortable.
Very.
And very cute. So we're here. So do what you got to do. We're adjusting, just listening, vibing out to some music right now. Yes, we are. So share the video. Get your homegirls, bring them in, and we gonna talk. Guys, you might really want to pay close attention. This may be everything you need. I ain't lying. So as you all come in, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Then we're gonna start our conversation. Okay, so hang tight. Hang tight. Keep watching. Tell your people to come on in. Hey, everybody. Yeah, have a good day today.
Yes.
Come on, everybody. Have a good day.
Yes. How about you?
My day was pretty cool.
Is it?
Slow motion.
I got
Slow motion.
slow motion fun moving slow.
It was slow motion. It was slow motion.
I like
We
it.
are here.
My ass told
This would be like the ultimate high.
Right, where she at? Uh-huh. So yeah, y'all come on in. We got a lot to talk about. Just girls talk. Come in. Be a part of.
Thank you.
Don't let me start a watch party.
So do what you gotta do. We're adjusting.
Hey, y'all, it's man.
Oh, I see. Yep.
It's nobody you had something.
Oh, that's Christine's.
Well, then that was yours. I already been poured. And nobody.
Yeah, that's
Unless you don't want it, because that's really good, and I drink the rest of it. Okay.
What? So what is this? What?
I don't want to endorse them because they supporting us.
Oh, it is good.
It's good.
It is. It's really good.
So,
Give me that
Sweet Bitch
almond
Moscato, if y'all watching, the ladies of Vital just plugged you. All right. So while we get adjusted, I know that you all are coming in, slowly but surely. We were a little late, and I mean, we chilling. Right, that's kind of like one of those things. So I am Woo. I am the host of the Vital Show, and that's who I am. I don't know what else we want to share. Like, as we introduce ourselves, do we want to just kind of jump in and talk about who we are as we talk? Do we need to tell them who we are? Or should they already know?
You know.
Google me. Yeah.
That's gonna come up. Like, did you mean? Yeah, no. Like, did you mean? Like, what did?
So if you all can see everybody, like, give us some heart.
They can't see us. They don't know that they can't see us.
Oh, okay. So So we here.
Oh, I just see Christine with the lean.
Christine with the lane. Ow. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna talk or introduce as we talk.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. So I'm Woo. So to get the conversation started, first and foremost, we are Black women in 2020 in the midst of everything else that's going on. Are you all are you comfortable in your skin right now?
I'm comfortable. It's just a lot though. I mean, I feel heavier. I'm comfortable, but I feel like I'm taking on everything of 2020. Like, I think there are people out there that get to parts of 2020, but I feel like as culturally, we're taking so much of the hardships of 2020.
Yeah. Is it different from what it's been before? Like, is 2020 just so different?
Yes.
Minus COVID.
Still different.
Okay.
And I think COVID probably has a little bit to play part of how we responded to some of the social injustice things that we have. I just feel like people were in their homes and more idle than they've been before, so they were able to do a whole lot more and take in a whole lot more of some of the social injustice stuff that is going on. But yeah, even without COVID, it's been a lot for us and for me personally. It's been a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I've been uncomfortably comfortable this year. Like, I mean, it's been a lot of uncomfortable moments, but I've been able to, I'm Nadia, I'm sorry, we are supposed to be introducing ourselves as we talk. I think that this entire year has brought on some challenges that we didn't expect. However, I've also had some really good things that have happened as a result of the challenges. We've gotten a chance to spend more time with family and friends, time that we might not have been able to spend had we still been in our zone or at work or, and I create work for myself a lot of times, but prior to that, when we just had to be still, we had to spend time with God, ourselves, or, and it's been definitely challenging.
Yeah. I feel that.
Hi everyone, I'm the marvelous Marlicia.
Hi, Marlicia. Hey.
Okay. I can say that I am very comfortable in my skin this year. What has been more challenging for people this year, my last year was like the worst year of my adult life. So this year I came in with, hey, I've been through so much. It's not really too much to catch me off guard. Now, don't get me wrong, COVID-19 did catch me off guard. I didn't think I'd be walking around with a mask and constantly washing my hands like that. I mean, I always wash my hands, but I wash them more now.
Way more.
Yeah, way more now. Right. Need a manicure light every day. So for me, it's just giving me time of introspection. It's giving me time to really figure out what I want in life and just not settle for the BS. So that's kind of where I am right now.
If you want to answer.
Just answer the question with the person.
Yeah.
My turn?
It's your turn.
It's your girl, Christine Lee, aka C-Note. But seriously, this year, I can say it's like, I know I'm like, oh, it's been so challenging, but it feels so good to be able to say I have been so blessed. Like this year has been, there have been challenges, but at the same time, it's like it's forced me to make some moves. It's forced me to make some decisions, and really like not just have the goal written down, but to execute, to accomplish it, and it feels good. And then I feel like the people I'm around, like even this situation, it's like to be around some very positive people and influence. That's everything, So I feel like that's what helped me get through this year. To have some shoulders to lean on, to cry on, and vice versa. So it's been good for me.
So 2020 doing what it's doing and being a woman, and y'all remember like not too long ago, the whole movement of protect our Black women came up. And I know we have some things we're going to discuss, but I want to start with that. Like when you start thinking about your role in society, we're supposed to be protected and provided for and all this type of thing. Have you all had an opportunity to even experience that? Being protected, provided for, what was the other one? Spoiled, nurtured. Have you got any of that? But
I can say that that's a difficult thing for me. I protect myself. I provide for myself. I spoil myself. And I have a wonderful significant other, and he plays his role, but I was all of these things before I met him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't choose to let him go.
It's definitely a choice.
Mm-hmm.
so, independent women, like I'm an independent woman. I don't see myself giving that up because I meet somebody or because I'm with somebody. Like that's who I am by nature. So I'm gonna, like Courtney said, I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna protect myself. If I want something, I'm gonna get it myself. This whole Birkin bag thing came up where everybody's like, how much is a Birkin bag?
$30,000? Oh, I
See,
think
that's more than that.
there is
A $30,000 purse.
my bags are raw.
Oh, it's more. Is it $100,000?
Bags are $100,000.
Okay.
$100,000.
Really? I don't know because I don't own one.
And I don't own one. I won't.
I'm not really interested in that, but that's been the whole thing. Like if if your dude ain't getting you Birkin bag, so we know a lot of this comes from the culture. You can get a Birkin bag off the black market. So like just the whole idea of being, that's one way, materialistic. And I think materialism messes us up when it comes to your significant other being a man or a woman, like what they do for you materially. What?
Yeah.
Have you had that opportunity? Have you been?
So yeah, so I'm one of those that years ago, I mean, I've always hustled. I've always had several things going on that, I'm getting some here, just multiple streams of income. And even when I had my daughter, it was my Trinity, my oldest daughter, like it was the same way, like I'm gonna do me for us. And I could never see myself just like not doing all the things that I did before so that I could be like the independent woman. And then like my baby daddy just, like we grew, right? So we were in a space and both of us were very much needing to do all the things that we needed to do to like provide. And I never saw life really outside of that. However, I will say that like I am beyond like taken care of.
So you're a kept woman.
So very much so. Very like even to the point where when I saw this the other day and I was like talking to T about it, I was like, damn, I said, I went from this space of feeling like I really could be in the club like INDE. Right. But now I have taken this like I've really taken a backseat role to like him leading and providing, and that's not something that I ever thought that I would do. And it is hard, but there are other aspects of life that I'm able to put more into. And I just realizing like with Tegan, so my 2-month-old, I'm realizing with her how different it was with Tran because I was on the move. Like go. Like I didn't even remember the first 2 months of Trinity's life.
Yeah.
I could probably tell you play by play of Tegan's. Now obviously it's in the current, but it's things like that. Like I don't have to go out and do the side stuff right now. Like I can be in this space and he allows me to do that. So I went from, like I said, from being, I'm always gonna be that independent woman. I'm gonna do me. To being like, my dude got me. But what I know is, if the situation changed, like it ain't nothing for me to go back to the top. You know what I'm saying? But I am like getting more and more comfortable with like this kind of the new way of life for me. But I didn't think that, I didn't think that I would ever be able to do that. And I do agree, like so at this point in life, like I don't know that I can say like I'm independent, like I'm very much dependent on my significant other. Like I said, that's just because like I made the choice though to let some things go. But I also feel like that's part of what he wanted. Like it was hard for him. I say hard for him, but with me being super independent and like I got me. I think there was a piece of him that didn't feel as driven, as pushed as like, oh, she don't really need me kind of thing.
That's the other part though. Like if I am already that, so like none of us are 22 years old. 21,
Right.
22.
Right.
Cool, okay. Well, you might be, whatever. You could be, right? So like, if this is what I've established, like if this is the lifestyle that I've established, if I'm a boss by nature, if I am conditioned to be the supporter, the provider, the protector for myself, what type of man, like you said that he had to kind of, like both of you had to grow in that. Where do you fit in, sir, ma'am? Like, I got it. Like, I got this. So where do you fit in?
You fit in your natural place. Like, I'm not trying to take away, as far as my situation is concerned, I'm not trying to take away your masculinity or who you are as a man. I still feel protected. I know that you got me as far as the household is concerned. I know all of those things. Like, if we out in public and somebody get wrong, I know you're there. Like, I don't have to protect myself. So, for me, it's just, I think it has a lot to do with my upbringing and like how I was raised. And we struggle. Like I just talked to my sister about, yeah. So, and I had a great, I had a great life, and everybody was poor, so we just didn't know it. So I just don't want that for me or my kids at this stage of life. So I think that I do all that I can do to make sure I don't have to be Oh, no.
I think the unfortunate reality for some of it is the fact that a lot of people raise their daughters and spoil their sons. So there are a lot of men that aren't willing to step up to the plate to do what is needed to do. And a lot of us women have to put ourselves in a position, unfortunately, to, work as hard as we have to work. We become hustlers by nature as a result of the fact that there aren't a lot of men that are going to do it. Their moms are coddling them. Society continues to coddle them. Every time anything happens, it's like, hey, we got to lift this brother up. No, you're not lifting him up by not telling him what he's doing incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? Not saying something is not lifting somebody up.
Well.
So what she saying?
I know, unfortunately, I've almost never had the opportunity to experience a man truly doting on me or appreciating me in a way that would say, hey, I can trust you that if I fall, you're going to be right there to pick me up. I believe God has that for me, but I haven't experienced it yet. And I'm such a giver. And sometimes you give too much.
Yeah.
And then they become expectant of that. And so it's almost like it cripples them from saying, you know what, okay, you've done enough. Let me step up. Let me do what I need to do. They get comfortable. And I'm like, okay, now there's a respect shift. Okay, because you want me to respect you as the leader, but you're not leading. Okay. You want me to humble myself or be submissive, this term that everybody says. Nothing is wrong with submission to the right person.
Yeah.
If you lead me to hell, what I'm gonna follow you for? You know what I'm saying?
Because you submitted.
Right, because I want to. Right. Okay. So my take on that is, as an independent woman, a woman who works a 9-to-5, a woman who has a couple of businesses and hopefully pursuing more in my future that is sustainable, I want the ideal situation of a man stepping up and saying, you know what, I got you. You ain't got to do all that if you want to. If you don't want to, if you want to, I'm fine with it and I'm going to support you with that. But if you want to, if when you have this baby, you want to stay out for a year, you can do that. I got you. That's what I'm looking for. And my thing about that is a lot of the men and I don't blame them solely because I had a responsibility to say, no, this is not what I want. And I did, but I stayed anyway, hoping that it would change.
So before we get to where we are now, I know we started off with where we are now as far as like today, and this is how we feel today as Black women in today's society. But I want to go back to how we started, baby girl. How our opinions were shaped, how our personalities were shaped, how we set our expectations and our standards for what we accept, be it at work, in our friendships, and our relationships, as mothers or as, whatever we are. How did we learn, or how did we start? How did you start? Where'd you come from?
I feel like for me, like you just said, as far as what shaped me, I started working at 13 years old.
Yeah.
I bought my school clothes, and stuff like that, and having to look out for self. And it wasn't even that my mom wasn't around, like how Courtney Pope, growing up in the projects, and it was like the projects, we were family.
Yeah.
We just looked out for each other. And to come up like that, not being able to participate in school activities because you got to go to work.
And you were 13.
In high school, middle school, high school, you're sitting here like, okay, I have a job. While everybody else is cheerleading and whatever else, I'm like, let me go to Wendy's and clock in. It was just like to have to already be in survivor mode.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're a grown woman. I wanted to speak to the fact, like how I know we were talking about men leading us and stuff. So imagine being so independent that you can't even let somebody in that wants to be there. They want to support what you have going on. They want to watch you blossom and everything. So imagine being also the woman where it's like, I got this. And the man very well is like, I know you do. And I want to be there for you. But you too like, no, I don't want to even let you in. I feel like I can speak to that when it comes to, I've had good men in my life where, I'm trying to pursue all these things, and they're like, I want to be there for you. And I'm like, you know, I don't want you in my space.
You know,
You
you
know?
gonna kill my vibe. Like you say you want to be here, but we ain't got to that part yet.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I just feel like you said, with childhood, it starts so early, you know, where it's just like, I've had it for so long, I don't even know how to let somebody get it. You know, I don't even know how to give you a little. I don't know how
What
to
did you
let go.
see? Like, what was the example that you saw?
Like my mom being able to hold it down, but I feel like something that got embedded in me was this whole workaholic mentality, you know, and it's just like, man, where's the balance? Because all you know is mama gotta get it. Mama's working. So even like with my own kids, it's like how Courtney was saying, like, man, I don't even remember the first 2 months. Same thing. It's like I can't even I can relate to that, because it's like, look, I gotta go to work. I gotta go to school. And I feel like I'm kind of in that space again where it's like, I'm in work. Well, I gotta go to work. I got class, you know, I'm trying to see my kids. You know, it's just like a man, you know, I do want that, but at the same time, it's like, to be fair, where does it even fit in to my life? You know?
Yeah. So making it fit, like, what's the balance? Thinking about like how we started and what the expectation was. I remember on our Father's Day show, I was talking about the examples that I saw. So like my mom and dad have been married as long as I've been here. They married the March before I came in October, and they never split. They only had one argument that I remember. They say they don't remember it, but I remember it. Like, I was standing there. They was like, yeah, I don't recall that being an argument. Okay, cool, whatever. My grandparents are married. My paternal grandparents are married until they died. On my mother's side, my grandparents divorced and remarried and divorced again. So like I saw couples and I saw families trying to make it work. I saw couples that I wanted to model myself after. And I learned how to work. I learned how to love. I learned everything from the people in my household. After I got older, I think what I saw and what I thought I wanted that they had wasn't really fitting for my personality or my lifestyle. I'm like, okay, so yeah, that works for them. Mm-hmm. And all this time, I thought it was going to work for me. But then she realized, like it could. It very well could.
Why doesn't it work?
Why doesn't it work for me? It's not that it doesn't work for me. So that I want to be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? It can, it could, it probably will, but kind of like what Christine said, like when I recognized who I was and like the lifestyle that I wanted and what I needed and the characteristics that I have, you got to really be where you gonna get? And when you get that, I don't need you trying to like minimize me or dull my light or no. I'll pass.
Like you said, I grew up with both my parents in the household. And I wanted to be able to afford, if I had some children, the same opportunity to my children, because that was how I grew up. I grew up with stability. I grew up, fortunately, not in a poor household, not in a rich household, but a household that was sustaining, and it was working. It was working for my parents. So I always imagined that being my reality. Mm-hmm. However, on the other side of that, I saw other people in my family that wasn't having that same kind of support system that I saw my parents having with one another. Like you said, they didn't argue in front of us. And I guess that was something that they may have seen their parents do. And they were like, no, we're not going to do that in front of our children. In the same way, I think that you all may probably raise your children. There may be some things that you recall your parents doing that you're like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to handle my life situations like that. So sometimes we have to pick and choose and realize that our lives and our successes aren't going to match those successes that our parents had. Marriage was a success for my parents. Unfortunately, it still is a success for my parents. That is not my reality right now.
Are you upset by the fact that didn't become your reality?
I think initially, because of the push that society was placing, before I realized that I had a voice and that I was somebody with or without a spouse, I think that I did feel that way. I felt like I was supposed to be married, but then I saw how miserable some people were that were in marriages. And I was just like, why would I want to stop being able to live, to be living with somebody that's not there? that's not around. You see people cheating, and you get inboxes from people that are with their spouses, and they don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why do I want that? You see people that literally take this crap every day. Some of them do it knowingly. And
Some
they
people
just,
are watching them live.
they're just okay with being in there. But then, again, going back to childhood, you think about all the older women that said, hey, you don't need no man, because they dealt with men that had multiple families and multiple things going on. So again, that created that strong woman mentality. Like, I don't need a man, I don't want this, I don't want that. But then there goes that coddling again from the men that were there. And now, it's just like, it's an imbalance. It's already a societal imbalance on top of dealing with, the mentality that people almost have to have right now, because we're trying to fight for justice and we're trying to fight for equality, and it's just,
which goes back to what Courtney said earlier. Like it's almost like I'm not gonna say it's a burden, but it is very heavy to think about. Like, well, okay, so if I don't tend to his emotions, considering what's happening, like he go outside and get shot by the police. If I don't respond to this inbox, it could be like the next day they die from COVID tomorrow. Like it's so you have to really pick and choose, how to be
there, how to be present
for everybody and everything.
You feel like you do. But who's gonna be present for you?
That's the question. That's the question.
That's kind of the question I asked myself, and it was just very clear to me. You got to be there for yourself. You got to choose you. You got to love you more. Self-preservation is a gift. It's not selfish. It's only selfish when you have something to give and you never give it. For me, like I said, I've always been a giver of myself, of my time. If I have something that you need, I give you my last. I've gotten in debt for people. I have done it all.
Have we all done it at some point? Like just kind of
depleting myself. But when you're depleting yourself and you don't have that counterpart that's pouring back into you, you end up just empty.
But what do we think? Like that's kind of what you do when I'm trying to show you I'm down. I'm with you when you. That's what we do.
You got to think about it like you getting on the airplane. When you get on the airplane, the first thing they do is tell you to save yourself first.
Right.
If you don't save yourself first, there's nothing else that you can do for anybody else. At the end of the day, you have to put yourself in a position where, like you said, you put enough value on yourself that you realize your life means that much that I can't do nothing for you if I'm not okay. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So when we get to that point, why do we keep trying? Yeah, we all over the place, but like when we get to that point, why is it that we keep trying? Like I know that this, I'm trying to help you, but this ain't good for me. But because I have these expectations and these standards, and I've seen these examples, we're gonna tough it out. I'm gonna try to,
I don't think it's that. Well, I think nobody wants to be alone.
Nobody wants to be alone. Is what she said.
You kind of see it, but you don't really want to see it. So you kind of play a blind eye, and you end up looking stupid. It's just what it is. You end up looking stupid, and I mean it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, don't nobody want to be by themselves. Everybody kind of wants a significant other, but they good, bad, or in between.
I want to be by myself sometimes, but I want to be in a relationship sometimes, and I want to have friends.
And you really
sometimes.
don't even want to be by yourself for yourself. You don't want to be by yourself because you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be by yourself because the world has put it on you that you have to have somebody.
Okay.
So I want to speak to that because I was thinking that first of all, I think whenever you put time into something, when you invest into something, and maybe I would even want to say invest because you can invest a whole lot in a short amount of time and realize that it's something that's not the best for you. However, when you think about the investment, you hold on to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what investing is. Like I'm gonna put something into this,
Right. And you want to return on it.
and you want to return on it, right?
Mhm.
So
That's
like,
why you invest in a some guarantee.
that's why you invest in a real property. That's hilarious. But so I think that is a piece of it, just psychologically, like cognitively. It's just I have put so much time and so much effort into this that I don't know if I can just let this go. and it sounds crazy.
Because it's kind of almost like poison. I've done so much for you, and now you're all the way together. I can't let you go.
Because I know
give it to somebody else.
that part. So
Then I'm kill both of y'all.
yeah, so that's the first thing. The other thing is, especially when things become public and, you know, people know, the family knows, everybody knows that you're in this, you know, long-term relationship or this committed relationship. And when things aren't going well or, you know, when they may not be doing what you want them to be doing, like that whole, now, you know, I'm exposing this to the world. And it's just the judgment, all those things that so many of us say, well, we don't really care what the world thinks, other people think, bullshit. Like we do, it matters to us.
Mhm.
So,
Image.
so I think that's a piece of it too. It's just the like, I gotta deal with all the other stuff that's gonna come.
So just stay.
So you shouldn't
Oh.
stay, but I'm just saying that is parts of the reason why I think people do stay.
Okay. I got a comment on my live that says you don't sacrifice yourself to not be alone. There has to be balance. So it's easy to say, but I think the explanation you just gave speaks to that. Anybody else, y'all want to say something else about that part of it? Because I don't want to pivot, right? I want to pivot.
Let's see.
I want to pivot to, I'm a big girl now. So when we start trying to make our lives make sense, like I guess our current state. So like business, professionalism, entrepreneurship, Black women in the workplace, what that looks like. Like we all of us do other stuff. And I think that's just kind of a part of our, you know, a part of who we are in society and a part of who we are as a people. But what have your experiences been as a Black woman in the workplace? Are your bosses watching?
Some of my worst experiences have actually been from people who look like me.
Exactly.
Not just being Black, but they were women.
Yeah.
When I first got the job that I have now, I entered into a customer service position, but I had so much more experience than just customer service. I think I had been there maybe 3 months, applied for another job, got it right out the gate. And it was a super professional position. And this one girl, she might be watching because she was right on Facebook now. She's like
Now.
But she hated me. When I say she hated me because she had been with the company for years. She applied for the job. She applied for the job twice and told her no twice. And then you got the new girl who comes in and she gets it right out the gate. One interview, boom, it's yours. And when I say that girl hated me, she gave me hell from day one. But y'all know me. So I didn't care because we had to make checks, sis. Fall in line for the right your legs. But some of my worst experiences have come from other women who look like me because you're upset that it didn't work out in your favor. And really, it was her personality that killed her. It wasn't, she was very capable of doing the job, and she probably had more experience because she was with the company longer.
Mm-hmm.
But her personality killed her in that position.
I think for me, I have realized that I can work for no one. Now, if Jesus says that you will, if you're saying that you won't, then like, you know, you got this, you run the show. But what I realized is that I don't do well working for people. And I saw my parents for so long, like do their own thing and, you know, be self-employed and always have something else going on. So that's kind of what shaped that for me. But I have been in the workplace where, you know, I just know that I was judged and treated the way I was treated because the way that I looked, like nothing else. And I mean, you know, because of what you said is disheartening to be in a workplace and for the people that look like you to be the people that make it the hardest for you. So like working with Black women, it's just working for, you know, or working with Black women and to be discouraged by that. So now like with my own stuff, like I get to bring in the people that I want to bring in. And, you know, obviously when I get to make those decisions, then I'm going to choose people that I feel like I work, you know, well with. So feel like I can't work for anybody.
I think for me, unfortunately, we as Black women specifically, and women period, are very competitive. And it's been that way again, going back to childhood, when your mama said that girl just jealous of you, or somebody told you that girl was just jealous of you, that continues to be a thing. And that person might not have even been jealous of you at that point, but you get into the workforce and you have to deal with competition or a competitiveness that you're not even anticipating from somebody that looks like you, and also from somebody that doesn't look like you.
Said, we're just here to get a check.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day,
Ultimately.
right. And even in your own business, I mean, I'm a makeup artist. I sing. I'm not competing. God, my gifts will make room for me regardless. You know what I'm saying? So if you do the same thing that I do, you can get custom. It's room for all of us. And at the end of the day, I just hate that we have to be so competitive with one another. Marlicia and I we have a great relationship as makeup artists, you know, and I mean, we realize that we can work better together. And I just think that has to be the mentality that we start to adopt. We already don't make the same money that other people make. And unfortunately, having worked in a HR capacity, I was able to see that. I'm like, dang, you know, this dude just came out of school and making more money than me. And I've been here for umpteen million years. And, you know, I got to do this. And then I got to worry about what somebody thinks about my shoes today or how my pants look. And I mean, it's only because they fit a certain way because I'm shaped a certain kind of way. You know, like it isn't that your pants are too tight because you just got on tight pants. It's no, you have a shape, and I'm mad, and right, and it's just like, what does that have to do with my job and what I'm doing at work? I'm not here looking messed up, nasty. You know, I'm respecting my job. I'm respecting my coworkers. I'm here every day. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then there's also for me been experiences where people tend to think that because I do other things on the side that I might not need my other job.
So that part, stop counting my money.
Right.
Stay out of my pockets.
If I'm doing what I'm doing for you and I'm doing it consistently and I'm there on time and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, what does that have to do with what else I have going on? Why are you on my social media page? Why are you, you know, because I'm not going to make it private. At the end of the day, I do what I do. You go play with your children. I don't have children. So guess what? I'm going to go play with them. Right.
So look, that brings up something for me. Like, I like to create. So a big part of what I do is like program development. I go in somewhere and make something that they don't have. I love to do that. So if I'm doing that and I leave and I go do something else, and then, okay, so me and Christine, we're about to go make some money over here. We're going to go do this. I'm going to call Marlicia. We're going to go do this. Then we're going to go do some stuff over here. I don't know if it's that people will assume that you have so much going on that you're not able to do what you started with them or whatever. But what I find to be a bigger issue with us is communication. I can be doing everything that I said I was going to do and more, but you wouldn't know it because you don't communicate. So then you don't communicate, and now it's a big misunderstanding, thinking that I don't like thinking something else. So then next thing I know, now our relationship is tarnished, and I ain't make. So this is why I have 15 jobs of my own, because y'all play too much. You're playing too much, and then you think because I have 15 jobs that I'm rich. No, we're still making all of them come together to make the one salary that your partner over here got. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
So currently, I'm frustrated by that because I feel like people, they'll know your worth and they won't pay you what you're worth. They get upset when you charge them what you're worth. And then they want to count what you got going on elsewhere and cut you out of other opportunities because they feel like you good. You know what?
Yeah.
Help me.
I would say I basically had the similar experiences. I work federal government, and I never forget my first year, no, probably my second year. I've been there, 11 years now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I realize you grown.
And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be independent.
You saw you on that live
Right. That is me. That is me. But I am currently working, and I'm thankful for my job.
And I said what I said.
And I said what I said. Okay. So what I'm going to further say is I experienced sexism, racism on a whole nother scale. You know, I've had a manager sit me down with another black woman. Oh, no. She was outside the office, excuse me. I've had a Caucasian manager, a white manager, sit me down and say, you know, you and this person came in together, another black woman. If at any given time, one of y'all is doing better than the other will be fired.
What?
And see, I think the world like does that to us.
And
I just don't.
But they said it.
Yeah.
They said it. Oh,
Blatantly said it to
was
my.
that this year? Because
No, it wasn't this year. This was in the beginning of my career.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, has it ended the Donald Trump time?
Yeah.
This was in the beginning of my career, and it was a constant, she's better than you. She's better than you. She's better than you. And it was two sets of black women, and it was another woman being treated like that. But the difference between me and her was she wanted to kiss butt. I
You
didn't.
weren't doing it.
And it made him angrier and angrier. And it made him slip up a lot. But what he didn't know is my mother taught me document everything.
Girl, see why?
I had a binder in chronological order of every incident. And I turned it into the union. And they were like, you really could have got him on EEO for sexual harassment, some of the comments he had made. I could have got money and probably been gone. I wasn't that educated, 7-year career. You know what I'm saying? But I knew the document. He was sat down and doing the same job I was doing.
Okay.
And forced into retirement.
So what do y'all think happens? Why? Because I think that it's too common that like Nadia mentioned, we're competitive, but we can be competitive and not tear each other down, not be supportive.
right.
I mean, I want to have a competitive counseling practice. I'm sure that, we want to have it, but like, there's nothing for me to tell the world that like my homegirl, my friend is a therapist as well.
Exactly.
Like, it's a great option. I mean, and I've got other girlfriends that are therapists, and I couldn't envision not putting their business out there, not supporting them.
Yeah.
So my question is like, what has happened over time that we are so at each other that we can't support it? Because I grew up like, I would say later on in high school, early college, being like, I don't really get along with women. And I think I had just heard that so much, and it really wasn't the case. Like, I don't really like girls.
I get along better with dudes.
Yeah, and I can't tell y'all like how enthused I was about just this. Like, black women getting together, just chit chat. Like, I live for this kind of interaction now. And I don't even think, like I said, I really had true issues with women, but I just kind of grew up saying it as if like that was something that I learned.
It's like they put it on as a label.
Yeah.
You don't like other women.
Yeah, like,
Okay,
give me a
I don't
badge,
like
'cause
other women.
I don't like it.
Or maybe like I guess for some people that say that, like I didn't say that I didn't like other women. My experience wasn't with a lot of other women. I got 2 brothers. Most of my cousins are male, so I was cool with the dudes, but I was also
I was in the wrestling matches with my boy.
that's just kind of what it was. So it's not that I didn't like females. I didn't pledge. I wasn't a majorette. I wasn't a dance girl. I played the flute. I knew them, but I still like the boys and drum section. Right? I did not like you. I just didn't care to be your friend. Okay. So
So, but like, what is that?
I just did. I don't care.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like, why?
And see,
there has to be some context to that.
No.
No, like you don't
So,
have
like-
a claim that you just let be like, I don't know. No, I don't care. Like that's not.
You know how, okay, so you know how you know how you meet other women and y'all you just don't vibe. Like it's no reason.
They give you the 1, 2.
But I just don't it's an energy thing for me. Like if your energy is off.
I agree, but I think that we are a lot
We don't need to
less.
do that.
And I think that we are a lot less. We're short fused with one another. Like we can meet a dude and be like, his ass kind of ain't nothing. And we
That's
end
right.
the video like, I'm still on this. I'm still bad these phones. Like we just don't see. But with women, like as soon as we feel the energy is off.
That is true.
I think
That's
it's
true.
the fear of the unknown. If we're not used to it, like we said, there's this idea that, I can't get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. Like, I saw somebody else function without being friends with women. And like, to your point about how women treat men differently, I don't understand. I have girlfriends that will be super short fused with their other female friends.
Mm-hmm.
If they do anything, if they so much as cough on you wrong, you're
But
not my
take it all, but
friend.
take full
But you
the
can get
man.
beat
Be
up,
like
drugged down the hill, thrown across the street, everything else by the dude that you talking to.
He bought me a birthday.
And your friend was right there with you through all of that.
Yeah,
Right,
Be
because you're
your
gonna go
mom.
call, that's what we do. Like, we gonna call the homegirl. We gonna let her know, like,
What
hey,
is?
tell you what you doing right now. Give me back.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Your friend right there with you the entire time, but then as soon as that friend so much as breathes wrong, you just stop talking to them, don't tell them why, you just leave the situation where it is. It's like,
I hate how you breathe. Shut up. I don't like you no more.
have you all not experienced
I can really attest to that. I had somebody who associated me as their best friend, and was in a long-term relationship with a dude who was cheating.
She knew it.
She knew it.
Okay.
Did you tell her?
No.
Oh, we
Okay.
gotta come to the
First of all, I didn't tell her. She was coming to me telling me how she found
Okay.
out.
Okay.
You know, and,
We
and,
coming to that.
and pretty much because he pretty much isolated her from us. You know,
That's what they do.
yeah, he isolated her from us. So our relationship and our connection was not as strong as it was before they got together. He made us all these promises about getting married and they would be together, so on and so forth. She settled for years of this, and then we had one issue come up that we did not agree upon, and it wasn't huge, but it wasn't super small either. Okay, and she just dismissed me, stopped talking to me. She had an opportunity for me to move in her building and be a makeup artist, snatched that opportunity. Just
Are you feeding me, financing me, or
point.
if you ain't doing nothing else, friend?
Yeah, and so it was just like very dismissive, and I was just like, wow, that's what we do. But I'm the one that's here when you want to cry about it, when you need to go out for a drink or go out to dinner and really emote, you know, taking all of that in and basically comforting you.
Yeah.
I agree. Like that's the part we play. That's what we do.
That's
Even
what we
for
do.
each
Because
other.
I'm gonna be a friend regardless of what you are to me.
right.
That's who I am.
I'm the same person.
And I don't change who I am for anybody.
What are your comments? We'll look for your comments, Christine. That's how you like get ready to say them.
Okay, and it depends, of course, on the offense or whatever, but like forgiveness, what happened to that?
Yeah.
What happened to, and I understand, like I said, this is
I
straight,
really don't like you
if it's a
anyway
straight
already.
violation. But I'm talking about our so-called sisterhood,
That's what it
girlfriend talk. It's like, how does that go out the window? Like, where is the communication, really talking things out, forgiveness?
Mhm.
Because if you're really my so-called, and I get it today, especially how sister gets thrown around, I don't use it loosely. Where
Exactly.
if I say it, I mean it. Like, you know, I don't have a large family, so anybody that gets to even get close to
Right.
me, that's what you are.
Right.
You know, I consider you that. So I will hold you accountable.
Playlist. Girl.
But I will hold you accountable. But I would want you to do the same for me. But when you are able to check each other, you also have to be a good friend to listen,
Yeah.
to take it. You know, and it's like, you may not like what you hear, but at the same time, can you be on the receiving end to say, I did mess up? How are you like on that side of the friendship?
Yeah.
If you're a yes friend, are you really a friend?
And I can't do yes man around me. Tell me I'm wrong.
Give me an example of my friend doing wrong.
But the approach too now is how you talk to me.
Oh.
You know,
Bitch,
tell
you
me
doing
in love.
wrong.
Yeah. And you know, you gotta know your friends.
Look.
You gotta know your friends, because some of your friends will come straight like that. Oh, I agree.
Sexy. So we're taking a water break, guys. Brought to you by our great sponsors from wherever they're from. We got some comments, and this one goes back to what we were talking about earlier. He said, great topic. And this young man says, name a few things that Black women need to feel a balance in life and relationships. So we're gonna put a pin in that comment. But before we get to it, I want to ask a question. Ladies, so, relationship statuses, we don't have to really get into that, but I do want to ask these questions just from a general standpoint. Would you ever shoot your shot at a guy?
Yes, and did.
What does that mean?
Shoot your shot.
Okay, I feel like let them know you're interested. Like, why play the game like I'm gonna wait for him to say something first? No, I want you to know.
I'm listening.
I recognize you. I see you. I notice you. I don't see anything wrong with doing that.
So you can't shoot your shot.
And have.
Okay, well now. So you shot your shot. How did it turn out?
He ain't here no more. But that's besides the point. I'm just saying.
But you just asked me when I shoot my shot.
But yeah, I still feel like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm pretty outspoken, you know. But it's just what happens after that. I'm not gonna chase you. This can't turn into just like a man probably would feel about a woman. It's like, okay, I'm interested, but I ain't about to be just running up behind you and you show no interest in return.
Okay. So being a woman, being in a woman's role, you know, what like the gender roles and like who's supposed to do what, who's supposed to say what. What are y'all talking about? What?
The
I'm
red
sorry, the
wine.
red wine. You're not gonna like
It's
it.
water.
You wouldn't like
You're
it.
not gonna like it.
It's
I
Red
like
wine.
fire reds.
Okay, focus.
You gotta
focus.
say it. Okay.
Because you were saying something and I got a question.
And they wait on us.
Oh,
Continue.
you're right.
We lie.
Y'all know, you know. Y'all know. Okay. What was I saying?
We were
talking
about
about
roles.
roles.
Yes.
What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that?
So gender roles and like how we've been conditioned as well that, you know, women are to be seen, not heard. Like you don't shoot your shot, you don't speak first, you don't get on your knee, you don't do this, you don't do that.
We're not
I'm not
gonna
gonna
do
knee.
I shoot
Oh,
my
see, I'm
shot.
not proposing to no
Okay.
I about to say, whoa.
So shoot your shot, like Courtney said, what is that? So like I want you to know that I see you and that I'm interested. What do you say? And like at our age, we grown folk. These are grown people having a grown conversation. What does that look like?
So tell your
I be
friends to get with my
Little-
friends and we can be friends.
Like, I would really lame to be like, you know, are you
Oh.
like you got somebody?
Yeah, that's
what's
super
what you
lame.
yeah, it
So
is.
he gonna
Are you
argue
gonna
them all.
You gotta be so confused for it. You don't even know who to tell you.
How to approach a man.
Y'all tell us.
So I have at some point, you know, found out what somebody was drinking and got it for them. That got their attention. You know what I'm saying? At least it gets their attention and sparks a conversation because the bartender usually knows what they do with drinking. Even if you don't say anything, just send it over there. You know what I'm saying? Tell him who it's from, and if he comes over there, then he's interested
If you
also.
don't, you go over there and knock him in the head.
No, if
with
he
the
don't, you leave them no
Take his drink and throw it in the
that's not going to happen, you know, often. It's just one of those things where, okay, I don't think I got his attention yet from just walking past. So guess what? Let me just do this. And then if that doesn't work, or maybe I'm over there in the corner quiet and he doesn't see me. So, hey, this is a way that I can silently do this without making a scene.
Okay. Without making a mirror.
Now what you do is he take your drink, but then he don't say it to you.
And then he goes out
Hey,
to
Like
the
now
that's
that's the
the
last drink he gonna
So
get.
that's on a social scene, but like, you know, being progressive women, like we're at work, we go to church, we're in.
Oh yeah, it's hard how you flirt. Like you know what's going on. Like it's I think
I find out what your interests are.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all the things that make you smile.
But don't sit down.
But I'm saying, I feel like if I was in a setting where there was somebody that I was attracted to, that I would make sure that I'm noticed, and we can do that very subtly.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, you know, we make a little eye contact here, a little conversation, throw a little side,
Show a little
something,
touch
touch
here.
here. Yeah, like all of that, and then boom, there it is. My question though is that like how do men take that? Like what I mean,
Men, there are a few that are watching us. We need to know how you all take it.
yeah, like,
So that could look like it go down.
So yo, we do want to know that. Like, how is it okay? Like we're saying that we will do that. So once we do that, is it okay for us to do it? And then like, how should we do it? And then like, what?
I saw very mixed comments from the men on your post. It was like someone was like, they think it's weird.
okay.
I'm flattered, but that don't mean I'm gonna want to pursue anything. And I'm not saying that should be the expectation. Right. And I was
So
just
my
like,
question is, if it makes you feel like if you're not attracted to that, if it is a turn off, or you're like, that's weird, like why?
And I don't think that the men are going to be honest to
They're
that.
not.
Because
Men are not honest.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta be open to the rejection as well. They
Right.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
shot down, like sat there so called.
After,
Listen, but for
But
real,
after it
like, you
happened,
shoot
how
your
did you
shot and
feel?
it's like, oh, that's sweet.
Like a puppy dog.
What?
Where your mama live?
Yeah, it's like
So should we be as direct as men are? Like they jump on pictures, they comment, they put the eyes, they jump in the inbox.
But
like,
do you
should we
see
do
these
that?
women, like when you think social media and I see like attractive men post something, these women are very aggressive.
They are.
You know, it's like you see the comments, they're bold. It's like one woman do a comment, somebody one up them in the other comment.
Right.
God.
Did y'all see them come for Cupcake Daddy? That
No.
post.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, that was a lie there too. 'Cause, no, man.
Yeah.
That's all right. I went to Jew. I like some water break. Right. I was like, who?
Oh, okay. So Mr. Toddy says we need a straight approach, no chase, just to the point.
Oh.
So okay, straight to the point, no chase. Am I saying like, hey, I find you attractive?
Let's go out.
Right? Are we
Straight up.
dating?
I kind of like the
And if I
format,
say
like,
let's go out, do I
you know, the
pay?
next day when you're trying to get to work, you're like, you know, Shirley, you got to pay.
Like what?
Yeah.
Right.
When I say let's go out, do I pay for it?
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Or do
I
we
go
go
out.
out?
That was a conversation too. So
I think
let's
that's
pursue them.
No, okay, so now we going out.
Well, the first date, I mean, I asked you out.
I asked you out.
Come on, baby, let's go out.
Hey,
But I would not.
So, but look, men,
Yeah.
like guys will say whatever, you know, like I've never had anybody to just ask me about having sex.
You know,
Like, you know, people be like, they just ask me for sex. That's never happened to me. So, like, if that's what you see in the person that you're pursuing, do you say that? Because he said come direct, so do you just say like, you said
Yeah,
that?
I think that works better for some people, direct approach. I mean, definitely. Some people that would probably be a turnoff. It just depends on the person. And if that person can't take your directness, that person can't take you. And you don't need to continue to pursue them. You know what I'm saying? But if it's somebody that does take it and accept it and they, reciprocate the energy that you're giving them, it's an energy game. So,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's gonna match if it's supposed to match. If
There
it
you go.
doesn't, then
That's
keep
right.
going. You know what I'm saying? We like magnets. We
Yeah.
don't attract what we supposed
we
to
don't.
attract. Or we don't.
That's good, Nadia. That's good. Okay.
You have to have like the mentality that
Oh.
100% of the chances you don't take, you gonna miss anyway.
Right.
You know, so why not apply that in relationship? Why not apply that? You know, I think we have been so ingrained with what society says on how things are supposed to go, or you can't have a fulfilling life without a mate when indeed you can't.
You just gotta.
You know, if I make that money and travel the world, I'm gonna be ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? Even if I gotta do it by myself.
Yeah.
Being single is not a curse. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's an opportunity to explore. It's an opportunity to not have to take on the responsibility of another person's emotions, of another person's background, of another person's family, another person's trauma. You know what I'm saying? So those are all the things you have to take into consideration.
That part for real.
And
Like,
that
I
is
don't
a
wanna be-
blessing.
Yeah, I don't want to be a therapist in my relationship. I want to
Exactly.
be in my relationship, and in my relationship, I don't want to have
And it's not everybody's goal. Like some people are really fine with
Just having fun.
just living life, having fun. You may date or whatever, but everybody doesn't want to be married.
Yeah.
You know, so
So that's the next part. Yeah, we've been going for a minute, and if you all are still rocking with us, thanks. This conversation, I didn't know what this first night would look like, but I mean, it's just conversation. But the goal of marriage, we kind of already talked about it, but like, why does it seem that everybody's out to get married or to be married?
oh,
Why?
Hold on, I got to get in on this. Marisa wants some water.
Like, why is that? And y'all know, like, up until the 2 days before COVID happened, I was engaged. And everybody in the city was waiting to hear the real story. Like, okay, so is it going to happen? When it's going to happen? First of all, why is it your damn business?
it's not.
Did you give me a gift? Did you come to the engagement party?
And even if you still,
It ain't your
still
business.
ain't.
Okay, but I feel like being very transparent and honest about like real life and how life happens. COVID afforded me time. So like when I went into engagement, I was ready. You know, I was willing to be the wife. Like, what does a wife look like? Okay, cool. We can do that because we already kind of talked about what comes with that. Like, so you might have to turn this down a little bit. I got to consider you before I post something. I got to make sure that. So okay. So then these different things come into play. So I was willing to, yeah, for real, I was willing to do that. So then COVID happens, that gives you more time. Like, yeah, so the date is still the date. You can still get married on that date. Yeah, I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it like that. So then here we are now, 7 months later, and I don't know if that question is lingering for people, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's when it really doesn't matter about people. Am I happy in my life? Yeah. And I honestly think that's what people should be more concerned about. Like, are people truly happy in their lives as opposed to when you gonna have a baby? When you gonna get married?
Right.
When you gonna? I'm happy today. Like, clap for me today.
Can I be in that?
Clap
Can
for
I
me
be
today.
present?
Right.
In that.
Clap for me today. And then when it comes time for you to clap for another reason, I'll let you know. So like that's just a part of my personal moment with marriage and that lifestyle. Like that's a whole lifestyle in itself. Married folk don't really be having girls' nights. And then when they do, they have to ask permission. Okay, so
I had this conversation with a man the other day.
what y'all got?
He's retarded. I did not understand how he felt. Like it wasn't about well, it was kind of about girls' nights, but it started off as girls' trips, and he felt like as a married person, married women shouldn't hang out with their single friends. His words, not mine. That's crazy as hell. How?
I think this is what I do think, and not separating if they're single or not. It really doesn't matter to me the type of company that it is. Like,
Why you going out without your single friends?
And I didn't now even if they single,
Oh.
but if they're good women,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
what I'm
that
saying.
matters.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters because they're single. I think when you think of the influence, whatever, you know, it could be. And now she around a whole bunch of women, and it's like you know they're gonna try to influence her to turn up and disrespect her marriage.
Yeah.
That's
different.
something
Now
different.
that part I understand, but what about married women who do the same thing? You can have a group of married hoes.
Yeah.
This is true.
Right. That's what I'm
And
saying.
that's
I mean,
all
y'all all
rocking together.
We gonna hang together because we all married and that's the code. So like girl code. So what we do on this married trip stays on this trip.
They
Same
always
with
sing
guys.
"As We Lay" real hard. You know, like you sing those songs when I sing.
Like
It's like
this.
that one group of
Ain't
women
you
that sing that song real hard. You be like, what is this?
You feeling that a
You
little too
feeling that
hard.
too much,
I see your tears coming.
So this is about something that we said earlier. Why waste time with the runaround when you know? Well, why waste time? It's on the screen. But basically, if you see what you want in a man, then act on it. That's advice.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So that's the comment. But to the point of like why marriage is to go. And I got a comment on my page. I don't know what y'all got on yours, but I think that society has defined a bunch of stuff that we're supposed to accomplish. That's supposed to equal up to happiness, especially having children for women and being married.
I want to speak to that. I was so hurt one day. I went to a birthday for a lady, and I didn't know the majority of the ladies there. But you know, I'm there eating, having a conversation, we sitting across from each other, and the lady says, "Do you have children?" I'm like, "No." Well, how old are you? So I tell her, and she's like, "Ooh, girl, them heads gonna be over easy by the time."
Hold up. We about to fight.
Nah.
Baby, I don't know.
Bitch, I don't have no eggs. No way.
Right. You don't know what's going on.
Go.
I should have
What?
been like, I got sperm.
What?
I feel like I had 5 miscarriages.
Yeah.
I can't. That's just so
And I was just,
insensitive.
I didn't even know what to say because in that moment, I just felt this overwhelming anger. Like, why would you say that? You don't even know me. This is our very first conversation.
Did you say that, Marlise? You like? Did you like?
I didn't. I was
Ma'am,
trying not
do
to
you have
make a
children?
Real Housewives of Atlanta scene
That would've been
at this lady's
Where your
birthday.
baby daddy? The fact of the
Your
matter
kids
is,
don't even like you.
people tend to measure your success based off of what they wanted for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a few weeks ago, I don't know if y'all recall, I made a post about the new news guy, not necessarily about him. I made the post saying, "Where's Kelsey?"
Yeah.
and I made the post and I posted a picture of him. It went viral
Baby went
for
viral.
several reasons. I mean, that wasn't necessarily my intent, but it
Right.
did go viral. And there were some people that made some comments that obviously showed that they were measuring my success. There was a comment that said, "You around here singing and doing makeup around town, living in a $150,000 house with one bathroom in Irondale." They did that much research on me based off of this post that I made.
I didn't know that part.
For me,
I didn't know that.
it tickled me because if all I'm doing is singing and doing makeup around Birmingham and I'm able to afford a $150,000 house, guess what? I'm good. But guess what else? I chose my house. I bought what I wanted. Is one of me. I don't need more than one bathroom. If I wanted more than one bathroom, I could have gotten it, but I got exactly what I wanted. So for those people that try to measure your success based on what they think they should have, they can get a life. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So if you want to be married, if you want your children to be married, teach them. Don't come for me. Don't come telling me what you think I should have done. Don't come telling me what you feel like where you feel like I should be in life. It's not fair. It's an assuming statement. You know what I'm saying? Ask me what I want before you tell me what I should have.
Right. You preaching tonight.
That's very solid.
You should have our own show.
That's how you came through. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Experience does that. Like we have experiences that I think are other people's sounding board. Like this has been my experience. This is my story, and this is what I would hope that you don't have to experience by me sharing my truth, or whatever. It may help you make a better decision. Courtney, I know you wanted to jump in on the marriage part as a goal or as an accomplishment.
Oh yeah, so I think Nadia said something very perfectly, and that is, especially as a marriage and family therapist, I don't want people to be like confused that I'm not an advocate for marriage. However, but it has to be what you and your significant other have decided, like that this is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the goal. Then like absolutely, let's work towards that. But I think the idea of marriage is overrated. Like I think we lose sight of being able to have the title, and we get so focused on the title that we forget about the substance of the relationship. And so, my parents are two people that absolutely struggle with the longevity of my relationship with my kid's parent and my kid's dad. And I'm like, but there's so much goodness in our relationship. So yes, like, do I want to be married? Sure, one day, but like that, I'm okay. I my focus was making sure that we had something that our kids could be proud of, that we are proud of, that that we support each other, just all those other things that matter, that make sure that like when I wake up in the morning, I feel provided for and safe and comforted and at peace. Like I have that in what we have, even in the ups and downs and all that good stuff. So again, like just with the marriage thing, I think that you just need to be focused. You have to understand that's what people want. And if that's not what they want, like stop assuming that because I'm 35 and I don't have kids that I should be like beyond me.
Like, no, I'm fine.
Right.
Like that's great.
Right.
That I think that's like
I think he's crazy.
see?
I have a question. Kind of like, okay, so, I was raised in the church. I'm raised with a very, very,
I could tell where this one is going.
Yeah.
There it is.
traditional,
I was raised in the church.
look, traditional mother, like Jesus' baby sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I call my mama.
Okay, Jesus' baby sister.
Come on with
Okay.
it.
And her name Mary, so that don't help. Right. Okay.
Mother Mary.
Okay. Okay. My daddy got a disciple named James. But anyway,
my dad is on the other end of the spectrum than my mother. Okay, and my mom and dad were married 33 years before they even divorced. Okay.
Your parents divorced?
Yes. When I was a senior in high school.
Really?
Yes. So we know each other.
thought they was married today.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We're having private conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, and the idea of me pursuing something long term with a man that I'm not married to, even to the point of moving in, having children, my mom made me feel like, you know, if that happened,
Look, shit.
I'm like,
You don't know me no more.
yeah. I mean, I know she wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I know she wouldn't disown me, but I know I would have to deal with the constant disappointment.
You would surely die in the gates of
Hey, he be about
Damn.
right. You know, it's just like, and then I'm an only child. So I was raised under the parameters of, I ain't got nobody else to like pin this on. You know, like, if I mess up, I mess up for my family. If I do it wrong, I do it wrong for my family.
And I see
And
that
then-
statement, if I do it wrong.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what
Yeah.
this is the belief system that I grew up in. And, you know, it's like, not that I haven't had men approach me with the idea of living together, but you know what my first thing was always?
Well, my mama done was.
But my
I'm
mama,
gonna say.
but my mama and I
Yeah,
gone.
we
But my
Marisa,
mama not gone.
Marisa, do you feel like you missed out on something or someone because you were trying to please your mom?
That's a good question.
You know, I'm not gonna say that I did, because a lot of, I'm not gonna say even a lot, some of the decisions that I made for the relationships that I really wanted, those people were not in alignment with my path. Okay. So had I gone that route, I would be the provider. I would be the protector.
So
I
that
would be the path
foundation saved you.
So the
Extra
foundation saved me in that arena. But who's to say another man, you know, the man that I believe in God for per se, comes along and that opportunity is presented. I may have a whole nother perspective at that point. When you're giving a woman what she needs, it's easy for her to go against the grain, or easier. But when you're not, it's kind of like, that's almost like a defense mechanism. You know, my mama wouldn't really be cool with that. But deep down inside, you know, you wouldn't be either, simply because you're not getting what you need. But had I gotten it from the approach of, hey, this dude doing everything I could imagine plus some. At this age, I'd probably be like, my mama be all right. She gonna live a life.
I think that's so thankful because I don't care what you do. We're not doing that. Like I'm very much a rebel. So probably the more that you tell me how you think things should be, it's probably the even more I'm going to like divert from it. And that's probably not the way that you should do things. Obviously, I think if the foundation is worth that, like,
Right.
But I struggle with like what
I
my
can tell
parents
by the
think
face,
is.
the way your face is.
Like
Yeah,
you
what they
said,
think is like appropriate and what should happen and shouldn't happen, and I don't think my mom is watching. I hope she's not. But
No, my mama.
like one of the things that T always says is like I wasn't her pick. Like I wasn't the one that she chose. And I'll never forget, like several years ago, I worked for this company, and this guy out of Georgia owned this company, and like he hired me to run everything in the state of Alabama. So out of my lane. Like I was completely incompetent. Like I had to learn everything on the fly. But I think he did it because he was more interested in me more so than. But like my mom saw, business owner, you know, like she just. So from the outside looking in, it looked like that he maybe had something. And so like, yeah, and he would, you know, when he would come around, like he would say stuff like that she's gonna be my wife. You know, and so she hear wedding, like, you know, marriage is just like, yes, that's who you should be. And meanwhile, like me and T, like in the trenches, like nothing about it appears to be something that you want. But my spirit just like told me there was so much potential there. You know, and it's different when you're in it. You know what I'm saying? But she just had a perspective, and I still struggle with. So like even to this day, if you want to try to tell me how to be in something, I don't really know that I can follow that.
I think that my mentality changed as I mature, because I had to start thinking, what are the things that you've done in your life that your mother wouldn't so-called approve of? And I was just like, I was like, a lot, like a lot,
everything.
But I have to also say, you know,
Like what?
my mama can't go to God for me. I gotta go myself, right? Okay? I gotta go myself, right? So I gotta be willing, whatever it is I do, I gotta be willing to be accountable for this.
This is true.
Mama,
if you out there, this day from I didn't play this.
I think for our generation, the mentality of our parents is that if we don't agree with them, that we're disrespecting them.
Yeah.
Disrespect and disagreements are two different things. I don't have to agree with you and disrespect you.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things that I might not feel like we on the same.
Like no.
Yeah, I mean, you think about.
No.
I mean, there are so many things right now that we have to deal with, so many issues, so many things that they can't relate to, that they don't understand. And when you don't understand it, it's like, ugh, what's wrong with you? What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? And you're like, that's my friend. You know, this is going on. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I am saying is that I don't feel bad for doing what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to disrespect you so much. I'm just saying that I have my own mind.
Yeah.
And that
At what age is it okay not to be your parent's child?
right.
Right.
I'm never a self-seeking, self-sufficient, self-aware adult.
Even when they did.
And this is what you got.
Your mama ain't gonna like that.
Baby, it's certain people I won't friend on Facebook just because I know they'll report back to my mom.
How old are we? Like, so where's our own liberation?
We don't have it.
I'm a prisoner to my parents.
Right, you've been locked up.
Like, break every chain already.
Do y'all hear this? Let's see if you're watching. Like, I want to know, do other people? I mean, clearly, if this is a collective statement about, it could just be a thing of respect. I respect the people that invested in me, that raised me, that taught me. I respect it and I appreciate it, because we could be like so many other people that we come in contact with that don't even have the foundation that we have.
Right.
And we see how it ended up for them. But at the same time,
The fact of the matter is, if you've taught us,
You gotta trust that.
we're not gonna forget what you've taught us. It's embedded in us. It's a part of who we are. If we stray away from it, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna come back.
I'm gonna beat my own ass.
Right, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna beat us. Our conscience is gonna beat us. You know what I'm saying? Without you having to say a word, you already did what you were supposed to do. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't
Right.
keep on fretting over something that you can't change. Control what you can control as the parent, and don't worry about what you can't control. Because a lot of times when you start worrying about other things, you're gonna worry yourself to death.
Yeah, I can say my parents do an awesome job at. They know who I am and how I am, and they, you know, we had, I guess, as expected, 15, 16, you know, find my diary and decide to read it. Like, I would have heard it. I would not read it. I don't want to know. But my mama decided to read it.
Ooh, Larry Andrew.
And I'm like,
I wouldn't want to read it either.
why
What does
are
that
you
mean?
reading it?
I don't want to
never
read
done
it either.
I ain't gonna lie.
You do read yours?
And it's not that I would never let her know that I read it,
I'm gonna tell them.
but I'll tell her you're lying.
We have video footage.
Roll that beautiful.
I read it because it just, you can't keep no secrets in him, baby. I need to know what's going on because children are cruel. And I just need to know what you're going through. I don't care what it says, as long as you're not talking about like self-harm or something like
How do you
that.
access it?
Huh?
How do you find it? Like, where is it?
It's in her closet.
I don't think that that's wrong though. They're children.
Up under her door.
But that's the thing.
In the right corner.
They're children in your house. There's no privacy at your house. Once you become an adult and get out of your parents' house and you still trying to control that.
Like, I'm still hiding my diary.
Well, you know my mama.
move this weekend.
It's an issue.
Your shoes.
You
I
see,
don't
like,
know you been there.
You don't want to have to be scared of your parents when you become an adult. You want to be able to be friends with your parents and actually have a conversation that doesn't require you to feel like you have to lie
Wow.
to make them be okay with what your decisions are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Look,
unfortunate.
right, this is like there's. I hear you, Nadia, but
No, and
I'm working on it.
I'm preaching to the choir. When I say this, you know what
I'm
I'm saying?
ministering to myself.
You know, I mean, I'm not playing because I mean, and the fact of the matter is, we have concerned parents, and you can't blame them for being
And
that.
I'm grateful.
They love us, and it's some people that wish that they had parents that gave a dang on about what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
that's what it is for me. You know, it's so many kids who like commit suicide,
Mhm.
right? And they're just going through things that you have no idea exist. And me and my daughter, we have a wonderful relationship. We talk about everything. Well, I thought we talk about everything.
So you heard that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna tell nobody.
I don't think there's a rule book for that. I mean, you know, they'll be like, well, the Bible is the rule book. It is
I
to
know.
a certain extent, but the
I
Bible,
ain't
I mean, and
read
they
all of
always say things that were written before time were written for our learning. There are situations in the Bible that we can go back to, and we can definitely say this is exactly what's happening right now. But what about those moments that you haven't experienced, that your child is experiencing?
Mhm.
How do you preach to that? How do you speak to that as a parent? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a parent, but you know,
You get it.
from thinking about the parental aspect of it, you know, what is going on with you? I don't know. You know, what am I supposed to? I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
And you know, one of the phrases I used to say to my mom, and I remember this, I used to be like, can you just talk to me as a woman and not as a saved person? Like, just give me your real emotions instead of the saved emotions.
Right.
And she used to be like, what does that even mean? You should want to know the word. Like, you should
Mom,
want to.
it ain't
Mama.
pain.
But
Say bad words to
in
me.
that deep down inside, who are you? What do you want
I don't
to say
know.
to me?
What did you struggle
What
with?
did
You
you
can't ask them
struggle with?
questions. You can't ask those questions like, Mom, so what happened when you was a child? What?
I don't even
Shut
have to
up.
ask them because I be like,
I was never a child.
I was always wrong. I was always your mom.
I've been 30.
Like, wow. So yeah, this is like one of those. This is one of those moments. Like, dang. So are we gonna be those parents?
yes,
aunties?
we are. I'm not going to be
No.
there.
No, I'm not gonna tell you why. Because my mom, my experience is nothing like Marlisa's. Because my mom, her mom died when she was young, so she was raised by my granddad. So the difference is, I'm being raised by a whole man. Like my mom is a whole man. She my granddad. She my granddad. She my granddad. She my granddad. So me, I'm not going to be that parent just because my experiences are just a little bit different than my mom's upbringing. So here's the thing, though, because I feel like there's moments where I'm like, I'm not going to be my mom, right? So I'm not going to be my mom, but I'm gonna be the You'll
mom
take
that
some of
I
those
am.
traits.
I'm gonna probably take something, but I just know my kid. Like, she's gonna be sitting around with her friends, and whatever it is, it's gonna be like, if my mama was crazy, or my mama, it's gonna be something. So it may not be the exact same things that we experience with our parents, but our kid, I'm willing to bet that my 10-year-old has already said to like her friends at some point, like something about her mama, like my mama, whatever.
Yeah.
And I couldn't care
Well,
less.
I ain't got nothing but a dog.
Me too.
But you
say what he
have
wants
to
to
have
know.
our children, so it's kind of like the whole village sets the example. So like a lot of stuff I do with my daughter and around my daughter, a lot of other parents wouldn't. But she can tell me when her other friends say stuff, when they're doing stuff. She can tell me, you know, when things don't look right from other adults. Like, Mom, did you see so-and-so how they were looking? Like, this is why we have the relationship we have. So somebody from the outside can say, that's too much. That's mine.
That's
Right.
right.
That's right.
And that's that. Period. So like I'm not the parent that says, you know, when grown folks talk, you need to leave. No, because I need you to know what the hell grown folks talking about. So therefore you won't be green when somebody trying to, can I get a witness? Like I don't want my child's innocence to be taken outside of some situation where she doesn't feel she can say, it was very inappropriate. I felt uncomfortable. I wish you would, you know, like
Yeah.
she feels comfortable. And if grown folk don't feel comfortable about my child being around, good.
Me and my baby go home.
Right, good. Because that makes me know that you ain't sure. So that's my 2 cents on that. When did you change? Like, when did life change for you? When did you change?
30s.
I think you just continue to evolve.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
can't ever. I mean, if I think back to college, up until this point, I think it's just been continuous, like altering, like continuous. Like I mean, I went from just college, right after college, to just be like I was so carefree. Like I didn't have. I mean, I just didn't care.
Mhm.
And then you think about putting kids in the mix, and you're like, okay, I have responsibility for somebody else, so I probably shouldn't move the way that I used to move.
I got a car seat.
Yeah,
I got a dog.
I
I got a leash. I got a leash.
and then I think experiences like long-term relationships just that didn't go well, changed. Yeah. And I mean, some of it definitely for the good, and some of it I was just trying to figure myself out.
Trying to cope with life.
Yeah.
Changing. When did you change like that pivotal moment? Somebody told me the other day, like, I want that, I'm gonna give you a time frame, not a location or anything like that, but I want that 2007, 2009.
It ain't you no more.
Who? I don't even remember that
You
person.
need to go back to the future.
Do you remember? I don't remember.
Somebody told me they wanted the fat Nadia, and I was a little bit so.
What?
I've been told that before.
They said that.
I want the fat Nadia.
Mama fed.
What?
That's like you were different when you were fat. The only thing that changed about me, and I'm still one French fry away. The only thing that changed about me though was my clothes size. Like I'm still the same person, as far as being genuine to who I am, but situations change. And like you said, life continues to change. So you have to change with what's changing around.
I want the
If you
if
you stay, what we used to say, soul, if you continue to wear the clothes that you wore in 2002 right now, either they ain't gonna fit, you're gonna look a fool. You're gonna be wearing some Jabot jeans.
Oh, wow.
With, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Some bell bottom
you have to move it.
So this makes me think about this. I know everybody else needs to answer this, but for those that are in relationships that have the expectation that where you started is where you're gonna be, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Like the relationship evolves, and as things happen in the relationship, like you have to grow and adapt with it. So often, like I see people there, I have clients, and it's like I'm like, when's the last time that you can remember feeling like the goodness that you felt when you all decided that you were going to be married? And it never fails. It's always the beginning. It's always the beginning. And I'm like, you aren't those people anymore. You are like in the beginning.
You gotta create it.
in the beginning.
What makes us put each other in those boxes is because that's what makes us comfortable.
In the beginning?
Well, I think so, because I think change is hard. I think change
But it's
is not
inevitable.
easy. It is inevitable. Well, it should be.
Well, sure.
Right?
Okay.
But like I see it all the time where people don't adapt with life happening, and one easy situation is just once the baby comes. Whoosh, like you're not going to be the same couple that you were before. Like, it's just not. It's not going to be that way. Or a parent dies, or there's tragedy.
I said, you want me to hunt you? And I just said, baby.
I don't even like you.
I don't even like
You
you.
ain't even cute.
Okay, so for my own like moment of transparency, so when I met my current baby's father, like we were just supposed to
Do it, keep moving.
We just supposed to do
That
it
was
to
being
it.
sweet.
I read the other day that said, I don't know how I had a baby. I was just trying to have a little seed.
Judge us. Judge the poor nigga in real life.
It gets good at the end,
Okay,
okay?
had a baby. And life changed like so much in like the course of those 9 months. Like boom, like y'all we knew each other for 2 months, then boom, you pregnant.
That's right.
His mama died.
See what I'm saying?
He lost his
Tragedy.
job. He lost his job the day I had the baby.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm sitting in the doctor's office for my visit, and my pressure was like so they like, we're gonna have to
Mama.
keep y'all and admit you finna have the baby came early. And like while we sitting there waiting on the doctor to write the orders to go to the labor and delivery, they called him and said, hey, don't come back.
Bitch, I'm on my way.
Coming back. Right. Like, I'm gonna have a baby, but you finna have to get it.
Wow.
So, like, and then after that, COVID hit. So I'm at home trying to bond with the baby. You here all day because you don't have no job no more. Now we looking at all the children all day.
Oh,
Like, no. So I'm happy.
nobody.
And if y'all remember, like I said that all the time. Like, and I was so serious, y'all. That shit was rough.
I know.
I'm gonna give you back. I'm gonna give these children they back.
And I
Like,
believe
take
it.
this report.
And I believe it.
But with all of that being said, we went through some stuff. We did, but we're in a much better space now than we were then. In 20.
So what had to happen
Yeah.
for y'all to get to this much better space?
We had to date again.
Okay.
We stopped dating, like because life happened. Like
Right.
COVID happened. He did some foul. He did some foul stuff. He
Okay.
did. So that put me in a place where I don't even really, I know we got a baby, but I don't even think I like you no more. And those were tough conversations. Like, bro, like I'm gonna move out this apartment because I found me somewhere to live, and you stay here if you want to, but I gotta go address.
She probably like, hey, what? What are you talking about?
And I mean, that's what it was. That's how I got a new address. I'm moving in 30 days. What you gonna do? And that's that's it. But then, like I said, we started dating again, and we're in a much better place now. But right at the beginning,
So it's different when the beginning is not good because typically the beginning is like, oh, I love you so much. Oh my God.
Happy joy.
Right.
because
The
the first month was great.
Yeah.
That's how we got the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we got the baby. I mean, like a few months after that were great. And then the beginning of the end was what? The beginning of the end was going public. So when you let everybody know who you're dating, that's when things fell apart. Because who I knew was not who the world knew.
Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. Who I knew was not who the world knew. So who does the world know and who does the world want me to know? Because I met somebody
They gonna
different.
tell you.
They gonna tell you.
Okay.
As soon as you put people in your business, they gonna be in it, and then you better keep them in it because when y'all break up, y'all, if you in a relationship that you allowed to go public, keep us in it all the way to the end. Let us know when y'all break up what happened. Don't be telling us we in it. This our relationship, right? It's all of our relationship.
He our boo.
He our boo.
And you done left him and we didn't even know
You
it.
just gonna stop posting the pictures like this, all right? We saw that.
Now we got to go research and see his page.
You trying to send it to our friends like
She doesn't picture about herself.
The name change, right? The name change. Y'all was married, and your name was Johnson when you was married because that's your husband's last name, and now your name, Keisha got to do better.
Stop changing your name to the future music. Somebody, every time you date somebody, every time you
Oh
change
my
your
God.
name to the future music, every time you date somebody, your future.
Jamisha.
Everybody hates your future.
What does this mean? Like, so what does this mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, everything that we discussed tonight, like talking about being whole women, independent women, strong women, what does this mean?
It means you gotta continue this conversation.
Yeah. And I think it's just being comfortable with being women. I mean, whatever that means for you, you can't allow anybody to define that for you.
Look
You
how
have to-
different
You have
we
to
are.
define that for yourself.
In
We
this
are
one
all
room.
very different, but we work. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I also think though that with the people in the room, there's a sense of there's some groundedness in self. And I think
That came from our parents who we still act like we didn't do nothing. We didn't beat our ass if we.
You didn't hear that, mother.
I didn't say ass, okay?
Like,
If your mama been coming
Mama.
all the time.
She the only parent. Look, she
But
the
that's,
only-
I mean,
That's
that's
important,
important.
They support her. So, hey.
And like my mama would do, like she would bend up. It doesn't matter what I do. Like if my mama can sit and be a fan,
Yeah.
like she is going to absolutely
Right.
do that. Like I mean, I planned to pick up women's rec league, like basketball, after I graduated. Like I think I was 30. And she was like, "What time y'all playing?" I was like, "Oh."
And you know,
Run that back.
I'm coming.
Run that back.
I mean, like there. So yeah. So she absolutely like so she supports. But I think that again, even though we're very different and we have our experiences and our ups and downs and the troubles, there, like I said, I think that there's still some sense of groundedness, and I think that's because we all have taken some time out to be intentional about like our own stuff.
Yeah.
So as we have this conversation, like I hope a takeaway is that like you are assessing self, like that you never forget to like look the person in the mirror and deal with your stuff, so that you can sit in an environment like this, maybe not necessarily with us, but like amongst other women or amongst other men,
And still be okay.
and have transparent conversations and be okay, right? Absolutely, because even being transparent, I think that causes a certain level of vulnerability because we all have been the stupid girl or like whatever. So again, I think that that's the greater meaning is be grounded. Like, and in order for you to do that, you've got to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and deal with that person.
You don't feel like you're the only one. A lot of times we as women, even as little children, felt like we were the only person that went through what we went through. And a lot of times these types of conversations allow us to realize that we're not the only person that went through whatever. And it allows us to feel a sense of not only being welcomed by other people.
We are not alcoholics. This is communion.
But no, seriously, just being able to have that conversation amongst other women allows you to have a sense of not only camaraderie, but you feel a sisterhood and a bond that you didn't even know existed through your tragedy.
Because you used to
And you
like
can turn your
girls.
tragedy
I
into
ain't like
triumph
females.
as a result of the fact that, hey, I'm not going through this alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And to know that you're not going through something alone makes the situation so much better.
Absolutely. So what y'all want to talk about next time?
Of Aretha Franklin, a rose is still a rose.
Thank you, Ronnie, for bringing us that rose. I ain't got flowers in like.
And that's why I brought it. Because I love flowers,
I'm so
okay?
excited.
And I just love things that bring life to a room.
I do
too. Like, y'all bring life to my life, okay?
Thank you for my flowers. And
So I brought my girl some flowers because it is not a dead art to get a woman some flowers. Now, if she tell you she don't like flowers, I'm like, I love flowers. But I love flowers. I love things that are living. I love things that bring life and bring light. And I feel like all these ladies in this room do that for my life.
Oh
my And so I thought they deserve roses. Sorry. Now, some of us have gotten flowers recently. Okay, and so, you know.
What you do? You did like this for some
But yeah,
That's so stupid.
well,
I just wanted to say I love y'all and thank y'all for pouring into my life.
Thank you.
so look, before we go, yeah, like what do we need to talk about?
She coming with it. Get
Okay,
it.
okay.
What is it gonna
Pastor Nadia.
Can we, no, this ain't a pastor. Can we talk about cosmetic surgery
Ooh.
and makeup and things that make us uncomfortable? Things that we do for ourselves and make us uncomfortable.
Oh, that's good.
Like
I got questions.
I don't need this.
I'm very confident. I can tell about it.
I know
I'm
that.
sick of you and this ponytail.
Let's talk about it.
We're
next
gonna
time.
take this ponytail on the back porch and burn it.
Let's talk about the whys. There are some people that do it because they just like to do it, but there are some people that do it because they're uncomfortable in their skin, and just because they had the surgery doesn't make them any more comfortable.
Ew.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Cause it doesn't fix that. It fixes that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with that, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for somebody?
Do it for the van. I ain't gonna do it.
All right, so that's one.
That's good. I would like to converse about that.
Okay, what else we talking about? What else do we need to talk about? Like this was just like a 2-hour almost impromptu icebreaker just for us to get, just for us to share.
Yeah.
What else?
I think we tend to, I see a lot of people like we knock people about insecurity, we knock people about being hurt and toxic, but what does it look like to heal from that? What's the other side of it?
Hey.
And can we also talk about adult bullying?
Adult
that
bullying.
Because a lot of people call things bullying right now that we didn't consider
You know, it was
bullying.
just janky. Like, we just was cracking on you.
And now it's like we've
Like
become,
we're overly
are we
sensitive.
overly sensitive
We absolutely
or
are.
is this really bullying? Can we
Because
talk
you don't
about
even
that?
joke anymore.
Absolutely.
Right. You don't even know how to just laugh without being offended. Like,
I think we do.
We
But
need
but
to.
I also think we're smart enough too to not point at somebody, like point at, like if I think we're smart enough to know when somebody has something that may be a thing for them. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, shut your lazy ass up. What? Like, why would I look at you and point out something about you and say it? Like, we're smart enough not to do that, okay? So that's a good one. Adult bullying, social media. I think our guys thought we were gonna get on here and dog men out.
No.
They did.
and did.
But-
They did.
So
They
you wanna do
did.
that next time?
Yup.
What else? Somebody did send me a message earlier today about girls' innocence, like your innocence being taken and what that looks like. Like it doesn't always have to be molestation or penetration. It can sometimes be language or stuff like that. And
Being exposed to something.
absolutely. And I heard like a percentage of an astronomical number, like almost 75-80% of us have been exposed to things way before our time that took our innocence. It didn't have to be penetration. So that may be a good conversation that people want to get in on when you can share our experiences. I don't know.
What is the definition of a good woman? What is the definition of a good man?
You gotta.
I would like to know what people's take on that is. And why do men feel it necessary to tell women, oh, you wifey material, or you this or you that?
I don't even like it like that.
But thinking that's impressive for some whatever reason.
Don't tell me.
And then you're not displaying husband material, so why you telling me that? Or you're not displaying what I would want to commit my life to. And then even if I did, you're not pursuing me as if this is what you would want with me. So why are you telling me this?
I mean, sounds
You know.
good.
Sounds
Makes you
good,
feel
but it's not impressive.
Okay. That's good. What else?
I think that's enough.
For the
Yeah.
next topic.
That's
Next
real
time.
juice.
Because we're gonna segue over into
Right, because it just is what it is. It's natural conversation. So hopefully you all heard some things or whatever. Just watch because we were cute and because we looked comfortable or
Sorry, we
whatever.
didn't have any episodes.
Yeah, but we had a good time and we had an even better time planning and just talking about getting to this point. Like, so that just shows you that this is a really genuine moment. This is family. So anytime you're a part of Vital, you become family. So hopefully you all are watching it. Not only are you watching and listening, but when we do something, you'll come, you'll watch, you'll support. You'll support what each woman is doing on her own. You'll support because we support you. Okay. So with that said, are we out of here?
Yes. Good night.
Courtney doesn't want us to go home, so the party will continue, but you all gotta go. We'll see you next time. We'll talk to you
Okay.
Sunday on the radio.
Okay. Ain't that what the kids do?
Oh, no, that's not it. Christine.
Hey, Karn. Bye.